Howdy, folks. I'm Valentine Brian,
I'm Valentine Amber.
and here's some not so Valentine stories. Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk? Forced Wedding Attire? I have seen several posts where people agree that it's wrong to force a dress code at a wedding, so I am looking for some support regarding my daughter's wedding. Let's call her Amy, a 28-year-old female, for now. My wife, a 54-year-old female, and I, a 56-year-old male, are very conservative in our dress and we prefer traditional gender roles for ourselves. Our daughter is in a relationship with another woman, D, who is quite nice. We accept them and will happily attend the wedding. It took some time for my wife and I to come to terms with her lifestyle, but we have grown and value Amy, and D as well, in our life. The issue comes with the dress code. They say no dresses or skirts are allowed. Both brides will be in elegant pantsuits. I suppose you could call both of them more masculine leaning. My wife does not wear pants. Never has. Per our faith, we believe it to be inappropriate. Amy can do as she pleases. We will not. My wife and I spoke with Amy regarding the dress code for the wedding and to tell her that my wife would be wearing a dress. Amy said to wear the pantsuit or not attend. She stated that we frequently made her wear dresses as a child and teen despite knowing how opposed to them she was. She stated that we always claimed that the dress code was the choice of the host and it was our job to wear what the host demanded. Hence, for every wedding, funeral, family reunion, etc., she was made to wear dresses as our daughter. Once she became of age, she could choose her own manner of dress, but when she lived in our home, she dressed according to the family faith and values. She now states that since she is the host, she is setting the dress code for pants. We can either obey the host and wear the proper clothing or not be allowed. My wife is absolutely livid. I told my daughter this violates our beliefs and how we feel most comfortable. I put forth that she now chooses to dress how she prefers. We should be able to dress how we prefer. She stated that the only way that my wife can wear a dress is if I wear one too, which is absolutely ridiculous. We're all adults. You cannot force an adult to violate their beliefs to dress a certain way. Are we in the right? And should my wife be allowed to wear a dress, or should she be forced to wear the pantsuit to the event? Would we be wrong if she shows up in a dress anyways? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
I'm going to go with you're the jerk. Now, there is an argument to be made for everyone's the jerk here, but I'm basing this on two things. First of all, this is in direct response to a trauma that you and your wife inflicted on your daughter. And secondly, weddings are not mandatory events, so if you don't want to wear her attire, you can opt not to go. And I like how your hypocrisy here, how you said, oh, the host determines the dress code. But now she's like, I'm the host, I'm determining the dress code. And it's all of a sudden, whoa, we're adults. You can't force adults. Kids are people too. You routinely force your daughter to violate her comfort and have caused her severe trauma as a result. The fact that you can't see this and you're just like, oh, we're all adults, so you can't do this to us. Use this as a teaching moment to see just how hurtful what you did to her is.
So, I'm going to actually say that I think everyone's in the wrong here. And I think that OP is more in the wrong, but I also can understand that if this is a religious belief that they have, why it would be hard for them to accept this. I really do think that they're being hypocritical here more than anything. There's just a lot of animosity that goes around here. I don't know what good it's going to do to force them to wear a certain attire. And if he really is this opposed to his wife wearing a dress, he does have an alternate. I mean, he can wear a dress. I don't know if that violates his religious beliefs, but if it doesn't, then they can both wear dresses, and that will take care of the problem.
Yeah, well, and again, I think as someone who had a very similar trauma around dresses as a child, people like to act like kids aren't really people. Like they're just, you can do whatever you want to them.
Yeah.
Just they have to follow your rules because they're under your roof. And OP uses that same rhetoric here. This is our family values. They were not your daughter's values at that time. She expressed her discomfort to you. She was a person needing support, and you repeatedly refused her request. I think the right course of action here for you, OP, is if you cannot find it in yourself to wear a dress, which again, I don't think anyone should be forced to, just decline. Don't show up with your wife in a dress and you in pants. Just decline. But at the same time, you really, really owe your daughter a major apology. Tell her that this has given you a lot to think about, that you recognize now that what you did in the past isn't good. Because that's the only way I see a relationship with your daughter going forward, is if you really start examining your past behavior and how it's hurt her.
Kind of playing off the point that you made about the traumas, like I do think that there is a certain level of like if she does have traumas around this, but does she have so much trauma that she can't actually like wear a dress, be around people who wear dresses?
I think the point is for her parents to not show up. I think she's disinviting them without disinviting them.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, is that instead of just outright disinviting them and saying, I don't want you to be at my wedding, you traumatized me as a child, instead they want to put this giant kind of requirement on them instead of just outright saying, look, you shouldn't be, you're not welcome to the wedding.
But I don't see anything wrong with, and she may even just be like trying to make them feel that level of discomfort that she felt.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it, because she may genuinely be fine if they show up following the dress code in one way or the other.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, like I said, I think that there's a little bit of blame to go all around. I do think that OP's more in the wrong here than the brides. But I just think that was a more direct way of approaching this, because I agree with you. She is disinviting them from the wedding. That's what this sounds like. This doesn't sound like she's allowing them to be there. And yeah, so I just feel like there was more of a direct approach. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Sister to Stop Calling Me by My Maiden Name? I'm going to change names for obvious reasons. My husband passed away over 2 decades ago. I still consider myself a married woman. My sister has criticized my decision to stay loyal many times. She tried taking off my wedding ring, getting me to cheat, and mocking me. I didn't appreciate it. I've had friends who have tried to set me up, but I tell them that I don't want another partner, and they should respect that. My sister does not. The last few years, she's been cool, until last week or so. Will call me Miss Smith. My maiden name was Miss Jones. My sister has started calling me Miss Jones, like the other night she made reservations for Ms. Jones, and also mailed me a book for My Name Jones. Yesterday, I got kinda sick of it. She came over and we were getting ready to go somewhere, and she made coffee and she jokingly said, "Your coffee, Miss Jones." And I got really mad. I said, "Don't call me that." And she said, "Huh?" And I said, "That's not my name. I am Mrs. Smith." And she said that it wasn't my name anymore, but it is my name. I never changed it back. I never ever will. She is just messing with me, and I don't like it. It really hurts my feelings. I told her that, and she calls me that, but she says it's my fault for never changing it. I've never wanted to change it. I actually love when people call me Miss Smith. It hurts when she calls me Miss Jones. All right, folks, what do you think? Is Miss Smith in the wrong or not?
No, I mean, this is your name both legally and meaningfully. Yeah. You're not obligated to be called by a name that's not yours.
I agree completely. I think that this is one of those situations where OP has said what they want to be called, and everyone's entitled to have a name that they want to be called by.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know, you have told you, and you did everything right here. You've repeatedly expressed to her that this is uncomfortable. So this wasn't not out of thin air. And all you said was, "That's not my name." You just corrected her. You haven't done anything wrong here. Your sister really just needs to get over this weird hang up, because even if you get a name by marriage, it's still your name. It's not any less your name if your partner dies, if you get a divorce, it still is your name.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a really good point too. If she had gotten divorced and just never remarried, she would still be entitled to be called by this name.
But I think it's especially hurtful that, this name reminds you of your dear husband, who you clearly loved very much, and your sister is trying to take that memory of him from you in that way.
Well, and then on top of that, it's pretty standard for people to just like keep a name after they've been married.
Yeah, it is very, very common.
So I don't see really why they would be put this like such an agenda on this, because this is a pretty standard practice as far as I know. So let me know what you folks think. Is OP wrong for keeping their name? Anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Selling My Father's Car? My father got my mother pregnant in university. She didn't want me, and my grandparents did. I grew up with my grandparents raising me. They did their best, but I am definitely a handful, and they had trouble keeping up. I wasn't a bad kid or anything, I just had lots of energy, and I should have been a grandchild that they spoiled, not an extra kid. They loved me and they did their best. My father, on the other hand, was kind of a jerk. He would never spend time with me, and when he graduated and later got married, I was just an afterthought. The cool stuff about my grandparents, though, was all of their stuff. My grandfather has a garage full of tools. He does all of the repairs on their vehicles and around the house, and my grandmother has an antique kitchen gadgets that she taught me how to use. It was like growing up in a time machine. My grandfather helped me build my first desktop. He can do anything with his hands. He also taught me how to take care of his old car. Him and my grandmother have regular cars, but he also has an old muscle car. It would not have been out of place in the Fast and Furious movies. I'm getting married this summer, and my grandparents decided to gift me the old car. He always said that he was going to give it to my father, but I guess he changed his mind. I asked my grandfather what I could do with the car, and he said that it was 100% mine. I can do whatever I wanted. I talked with my fiance, and he said that it was a beautiful collector's item, but not really something that we could afford to keep. We decided that we are going to have our wedding pictures taken with the car, and then we're going to sell it. We have talked to places that sell these cars, and we will get enough for a good down payment on a house. My father found out and that I got the car, and now he is mad. He says that it was supposed to go to him, and he was going to keep it and give it to his son. I said that if he got it appraised, I would give him the right to buy it. He got it appraised, and he could afford it, but not easily. He says that I'm being a B and holding his past behavior against him. No kidding. He abandoned me and now wants me to play nice. My fiance says that we should find a compromise because my father wants to keep the car in the family. I'm going to be honest, I don't want my father or my half-brother to get this car. I would rather sell it to a stranger. My grandparents love the idea of wedding pictures with the car, and then knowing that they helped us buy a house. My grandfather said that it was fate that he kept the car and he never let my father drive it. I have driven it. It scares me. I like my Nissan Leaf. I do feel like a bit of a jerk for keeping my father from getting the car. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. It's your car, and there's no reason why you have to play nice with the man who abandoned you and is now only trying to use you to get a car.
Yeah, I think that really is a good summary of this. He's just angry because he's not getting the car that he thought he was going to get. And I know he says that, oh, you're just using my past to get back at me.
Does it matter if you are? He abandoned you and replaced you with another family, so why would you play nice with him? Why would you owe him anything when he's never done anything for you?
Well, and that I think is a really good point. He's never done anything for you. He just dropped you off at your grandparents' house, who are your parents.
Mm-hmm.
So in all, basically, he's your sibling. He's an older sibling in some respects, but he would still be kind of a sibling in that respect. Amber's like, no, Brian. Well, I mean, relation-wise, she is as close to his parents as she is.
Yeah, well, she is basically, and I think probably legally their child as well, it sounds like. Like, they've raised her, for all intents and purposes, the grandparents are your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Your bio dad is just a person. I wouldn't even really consider him a sibling, because he doesn't have a sibling relationship either. He's just a person who feels entitled to your stuff.
Well, I just meant be in regards to like the relationship with their grandparents. She would be more like a sibling to him.
Oh, yeah, I see that now. Like, yeah, they're on par because they're both the grandparents' children. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I didn't mean that they had a relationship like their siblings. I just meant that in regards to how they are to the grandparents.
Yeah, there's nothing differentiating them because they both were raised by the grandparents.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the other factor here is the grandparents, because they're the ones who are gifting the car. They have not told you at any point in this that you need to give this car to your dad or sell it to your dad. I think their feelings do matter to some degree, and you've taken those into account. Your feelings matter. You've taken those into account. You don't have to worry about your dad.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good point, too. If they had said, well, we really would like you to keep this car in the family as much as possible, that might be a little bit of a different situation. But it sounds like you can sell it with their blessing. So I don't really see any problem with that. And it will be a nice down payment on the house. Those are hard to get. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. Amber has a joke and I have some tea.
What did one light bulb say to the other light bulb?
Well, the one light bulb said to the other light bulb, and this was actually kind of a tragic story. I mean, I know it's very sad. Well, you know, the switch turned on, and they both illuminated, but one illuminated only for a moment, and the other light bulb, who was shining brightly, said, "Jerry, no!" It was so sad. It was very sad. Jerry was their friend. Amber's like, "I'm gonna cry about a light bulb, Brian. Don't do that."
It's a Valentine's episode. We need to be happy.
And then, in a moment, Jerry flicked on. It was just a temporary loss of power to that outlet. The light bulb was fine.
Okay, good. But the answer is, I love you, Watts and Watts.
Oh, that's a that's a cute joke. That really was. And I have make a mint tea. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy belated birthday to Morgan and someone else. I forgot.
I think there was another person who had a birthday on the same day as Morgan, and this is the only reason why I know, and they were called She Bang Bang. So,
interesting username.
Yeah. So happy birthday to you, too. So, Amber, what is the moral of the story today?
Let's see. Well, I'll pick story number 3, and I'm going to say the moral is don't treat your kid like garbage and then expect things from them.
Isn't that kind of the moral of story 1 too?
I think so. I think that's...
And I think that was the moral of story 2 too. And I mean, like, that's fine. Even if it wasn't, I'm just going to say it was. So, thanks so much for watching. And we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.